we go. Good evening. Welcome to the second season of our community concert series. We'd like to thank our partners at Trinity Church for hosting these events in their wonderful facility and for providing a home for our concert piano, the historic Chickering brand. We'd also like to thank our corporate sponsors, Business Plans Incorporated, who provided the playbills for the series in addition to their regular support. Thank you for joining us this evening for our faculty concert, where our talented instructors, along with some friends of the studio, get to showcase a few of their favorite things, which happens to be quite a variety of musical styles, so I think you'll enjoy it this evening. We hope you can join us for our upcoming events in the concert series as well. Great sonatas for the violin on Friday, November 3rd, 7:30 p.m. Violinist Bill Slusser from the Dayton Philharmonic Orchestra will be performing 3 masterworks from the violin repertoire by three of the great masters, Beethoven, Brahms, and Horn. Join us for Sounds of the Season, our studio Christmas recitals, held at 6 and 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, December 16th, where our students select their favorite Christmas carols and to perform, and it's sure to put you in the Christmas spirit. You'll probably also hear about 16 versions of Jingle Bells. Our first faculty spotlight concert will be held Friday, January 26th at 7:30 p.m. and will feature Evan Fearer on the classical guitar and soprano Magdalena Greenwald. And they will actually be performing together, which I am really excited about. You don't often hear guitar and voice together, and it's really cool repertoire. It's all in your playbill. The DPO's principal trumpeter Charlie Pinard will be here in concert on Friday, March 2nd at 7:30 p.m. You won't want to miss it. It's always a lot of fun to watch Charlie perform. There's a lot of fireworks. It's a great time. And our second annual studio competition will be held Saturday, April 21st at 10 a.m. in a recital format and open to the public. And concluding our season, our 4th annual studio spring recitals on Saturday, May 19th at 6 and 7:30 p.m., where our students and competition winners will give one last flourish to the musical year, followed by an awards presentation. So we hope you can join us for some of those concerts. At this time, we will ask you to please silence all cell phones or other devices and refrain from any flash photography. We hope you enjoy this evening's concert.
Good evening. My name is Evan Fearer. I'm the guitar instructor here at Star City Music. Tonight I'm going to be playing a piece called Spatter the Dew for you. It's a traditional Celtic piece arranged by the great Scottish classical guitarist David Russell. This is a slip jig, which is a little different from your normal jig. Your standard jig is in a time signature we call 6/8, which means there's 2 strong beats of 3 patterns. This is in 9/8, so we get an extra beat in there. So it gives it a little bit of a different feeling. I'm going to check my tuning right now so you guys get an in-tune performance. A little treat for you.
classically trained, but we're not going to play classical music. I'm Moira Levant, this is Brian Heyer, and we are half of Blackthorn and Laurel. And we're going to play two reels for you tonight. Man of the House into Toss the Feathers. And the thing is that Irish music is not classical music. You don't just sit there and enjoy it. So I'm going to ask you all if you would help me out and just clap. So.
If craftsmanly art If you've heard the composer's name, Clara Schumann, before, it's probably in relation to her husband, Robert. Robert wrote 4 very well-loved symphonies, numerous large piano works. For piano teachers, the scenes from childhood are very popular teaching pieces. And Clara Schumann's music is not as well known. I first discovered her music in high school. If any of you took piano lessons as a student, you might remember the old Jean Duchamp piano method in the anthologies. I had an anthology of music, and I happened upon Clara Schumann Opus 15, number 3, which is just a gorgeous piece. It reminded me of a prayer almost, and I just adored that piece when I played it. Unfortunately, I'm not playing that one tonight. I'm playing number 1, but it's beautiful too. So her music was always sort of at the back of my mind. I always loved discovering more of hers, even before I decided to pursue piano professionally. To tell you a little bit about her, she was a child prodigy. Her father taught her, Frederick Wieck, and she was giving a piano concert at the age of 8, and Robert Schumann, who was 9 years older than her, happened to attend and was so taken by how talented that she was that he asked her father to teach him piano. And a couple of years later, he actually moved in with them, which is not as wild as you might imagine in the 19th century to move in with your piano teacher. So you could take lessons all day, every day. But at the age of 18, when Clara turned 18, Robert proposed to her. Her father did not like that. He fought them for 3 years. He didn't really care for Robert because he thought he wasn't going to be able to provide for her. I think it also had something to do with the fact that he was hoping that Clara would continue to perform as a professional pianist. They actually took him to court, and they won the right. The judge agreed that she should be free to marry who she wanted. So the day before her 21st birthday, they were wed. And that is one of the great love stories of classical music. By all accounts, they were very happy. They had a large family. Clara was a muse to Robert. There are so many pieces that he wrote. He wrote one for their wedding. He wrote one for anniversaries, birthdays, just dedicated things to her in general. And I'm convinced that we would not have as much music from him had he not been in that relationship with her. The set that I'm going to be playing from, I'll be playing the first of 4 Fugitive Visions. And that sort of sounds a little spooky or underhanded a little bit, but I think fugitive in this case just means short and fleeting. You know, they're here and they're gone. They were written in 1845, which is a relatively happy time for the family. She dedicated them to her sister. And this was about 10 years before Robert had some sort of psychotic episode. He struggled with depression throughout his life. It took a definite turn for the worse later in life. He was actually hospitalized in an asylum. Tragically, in the 19th century, it was believed that a lot of these mental problems happened because of strong emotions. So the doctors told Clara, it's best if you don't see him, it's best if you stay away, because we think that him interacting with you can set him off again. So she never saw him again, save for the day before he died. The doctors and Brahms, another composer who was very close to the family, said, you need to come see him. We think he's going to be dying soon. And she saw him one more time. While she was married to him, almost miraculously, she freely gave up concertizing. It was considered sort of scandalous for a married woman to concertize publicly, to have a public job at that time. So she gave it all up at the age of 21. And then as she's widowed, she has to support her family, and they had a number of children. So she returns to the concert stage, and from that day forward, she performed in full mourning dress, you know, all the black and the veil and everything. She is one of the first pianists who ever played entire programs memorized, so I've heard and program about to do. But just a really wonderful composer, and I hope you enjoy this piece as much as I have getting to know her music. So I'm going to play because I will probably end up having talked longer than I played. So
The bass guitar, by its very nature, is generally not a solo instrument. Once in a while, a unique personality gets a hold of it, like me, and gets to be one. Sad but true. In the middle third of the 19th century, a minister by the name of Winfield S. Wheaton wrote a hymn in the midst of a catastrophe in his life, which grew to become a very popular hymn amongst the evangelical and mainline churches, and is still sung today in many churches. It is a very stately, solemn song, till I got a hold of it. And when I get a hold of things like this, the creative juices go together. And I sat down and figured this one out with myself, me, myself, and I. All three of us will be playing for you tonight. No, I'm not schizophrenic, it's just a little different.
This piece, I really, it's not just beautiful musically, it is also really close to my heart because of the text. And it's just really interesting how Handel used this piece of music to show that with Job in Job 19 prophesies about Christ, and he uses the text from 1 Corinthians 15 that Paul said. You'll hear that. So I know that my Redeemer liveth is from Job, and then once we get to the B section, the recapitulation, we get, for now is Christ risen from the dead. That is from the 1 Corinthians. So hope you enjoy.
So we're not playing the end. We're playing our favorite parts from the movie. So we're playing, actually, we changed our minds. We're not playing the epilogue. We were playing the audition and the planetarium. So the gist of the story is that it's two people who meet. One of them is a jazz musician and the other is an aspiring actress. And it's the story of how they fall in love and they are both pursuing their dreams. And you can watch the movie. But my favorite parts from the movie were a place that's called the audition, where the actress is getting her big break. It's where she is doing that audition to get her big break. And it's a moment that any musician can relate to, because it's very nerve-wracking, and then finding out the waiting afterwards and finding out whether or not you made it. And for her, the dream paid off, and she made it big in the end. And but the song that she sings is about not knowing, and it's about leaving without looking, and in her case, it didn't pay off. So it's a happy ending at that for the audition. And the other piece that we're going to play is called the planetarium, and this is the part in the movie it really sort of encompasses the La La Land theme. It's a fantasy sequence where they're in a planetarium and they're just sort of dancing around and falling in love, and it's probably the most beautiful part of their relationship. So I hope you enjoy the music from La La Land. If you do watch it, don't blame me for the ending. Really, but the music is great, so we hope you enjoy this selection. joining us for an evening of music. We appreciate everyone